I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Where? Okay, stop. That's enough. Because we only have a little bit of time, but joy is the theme for Advent, right? This is the third week of Advent. You've already talked about hope. Steve took us on this journey, kicking and screaming, by the way, to peace. But we got there. And today I get to hang out in the realm of joy no matter what is going on. Joy, no matter what. It seems to me that whenever I am preparing to come and hang out with my Unity of Arlington friends, that the universe says, oh, what's your topic? Let me make sure that you have some experience that allows you to speak to that topic directly, not theoretically, but in the real world, what happens? No, I'm not so sure. Amen for you, because you didn't have to go through it. Right? Oh my goodness. Now, a few of you know me and know that my primary spiritually based website is Reclaim Joy, reclaimjoy.com. And a lot of the work that I do as a spiritual coach and as a retreat leader is grounded in joy. So I was delighted when I learned that the theme for today would be joy. Like, in the human brain, my mind is going, oh, got this, right? I could just wake up that morning and I could talk about joy for a week, right? The universe had other plans. It's almost like the universe was whispering, sure, you could talk about joy for a week. You know a lot about joy. Joy is important to you. It is your grounding. People who know you know that joy is Tracy, and Tracy is joy. And last Sunday, the universe said, well, let's make it real. Do you really know how to claim joy? So last Sunday, around this time, last Sunday, my eyes started burning, watering. I'm like, what? And I was surprised by it, and it was really bad. I'm having lunch with someone, and tears are just coming down my eyes. It has nothing to do with how great this lunch is and the friend, right? Nothing about the conversation, but we're eating Thai food and Tracy is crying the whole time and my eyes are burning. And I get home and then around 4 o'clock, I'm like, let's lay down. Let's go to sleep. Let's give our eyes a rest. And I wake up at 7:45 p.m. and I'm fine. Prayer works. That's exactly what I said. Oh, prayer works, because I said it. I did a spiritual mind treatment right before I went to sleep. Prayer works. It's 7:45. At 8 o'clock, it's time for me to go roller skating. I can go skating, great. And then nothing happens. My eyes are great. Till Monday morning when I wake up and my left eye is swollen and burning and hurting and tearing. Like, wait a minute, I did a treatment. We're healed yesterday. Like, what is this? New day, new symptoms. So I take my contact lens out and I get 10 people doing prayer and it gets a little better, but I also make a doctor's appointment and I couldn't get in Monday, so it's for Tuesday morning. By Monday night, it's better. I wake up Tuesday morning, it feels good. I cancel the doctor's appointment. Well, I pick up the phone to cancel the doctor's appointment, and as I'm talking to the assistant, and telling her what happened, she said, well, you might want to come in anyway and let us look at it. So I'm like, well, okay, and I need my eyes examined anyway, blah, 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 blah. So I take out the right contact because they're gonna dilate my eyes. And the right eye is like, oh, I wanna get in on this. Boom, 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 and it's throbbing and it's tearing, and in 10 minutes times, it's 3 times the size it was when the contact lens was in. And in an hour, I have to drive to the doctor's office. So that's what was going on with me on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. And it did not make me happy. I mean, right? I was not happy. But there was something that was within me that never lost connection with joy. And that is one of the most important things. I could tell you the dictionary definition of happiness. I could tell you the dictionary definition for joy. But those 3 days of experience reminded me that happiness is a reaction to what is going on. Happiness is connected to the human condition that I might be experiencing right now or in any part or any phase or any stage of my life. Happiness is a reaction, and it reflects or it expresses my human condition or circumstances. But no, not joy. Joy is a spiritual consciousness that is a state of being that actually helps me navigate whatever is going on in the human condition. Do you get that? Are you with me? Happiness is my human condition, and it's good to be happy. It's actually good to be unhappy as well, because we are navigating everything that's going on. But joy, let me tell you about joy. Singing "Oh Holy Night." It's like, this is joy. It is the truth with a capital T that is always available to me, because I can be grateful simply for having the ability to take a breath right now. Take a breath. And if you can't, be grounded in joy because you have life and the opportunity to simply breathe, then you don't know joy. And joy and gratitude are not the same thing, but a lot of times gratitude is our pathway, or our standing in the atrium of joy. Right? It's the pathway. The gratitude is the pathway to get into that place where now I'm standing and I'm centered, and all around me, the atrium of life itself, right, is my joy. And it doesn't really matter what anybody else is thinking. It doesn't really matter what Shirley is experiencing. It really doesn't matter, right? What anybody else is doing, wanting, desiring, delivering, it doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with my joy. No one can take that away from me. So, my eyes, and as you can see, I'm still wearing my glasses, not my contact lenses, because I had infection in both eyes. Technically, in case some of you know these terms, technically I had a corneal ulcer in both eyes around 11 o'clock, like 11 o'clock on the circumference of the eye. I'm like, okay, well, that's good for you, Dr. Tran, to know this. What are you going to do about it? and she prescribed the most expensive prescription I have ever had to fill in my entire life. And the vials that these antibiotic eye drops come in are like this big. They're like, the whole vial is an inch tall, and each vial is only half full, right? And right, Steve is like, yep, been there, know this experience. And I'm like, how could this be $175? Like, what are you talking about? It's this much liquid. It better work. I was still not happy. I was not happy. And there was a sense of joy present within me because we have doctors, because I have access to medical care, because such a thing exists as moxifloxacin or whatever it is. And grateful that at this particular week in my life, after insurance, I had $75 to pay my part of the prescription. Because I don't know about you, but there have been many times in my life where I would have had to leave that prescription at the pharmacy because I didn't have $75 that I could spend on that. And so it's like there was this sense of joy that carried me through the week. And my eyes got better until they didn't, because it wasn't smooth sailing. And was it Friday that I woke up after Wednesday and Thursday, my eyes doing great. Friday morning, I woke up and the right eye was like, oh, I'm not done with you yet. Oh, great. But I just did what we do. I affirmed that all is well. I focused on the joy I have for all that is going well in my life, and I was not distracted by what I don't want. And what I'm looking for is this Marianne Williamson quote, because I want to read it. I want to actually quote it, not paraphrase it. She wrote, "Joy is what happens to us when we allow ourselves to recognize how good things really are." Repeating, joy is what happens to us when we allow ourselves to recognize how good things really are. I am not my eyes. I am the spiritual consciousness and spiritual entity that operates and lives and navigates with joy. I am not the hard things that happen. I use joy to navigate through those things. And I know I'm not the only one in this room or in this virtual room who knows how true this is. And I am going to put you on the spot. If you're in the room, I want you to raise your hand or stand up if you too have used joy to ground you in times when things were a little shaky. And if you're online, I want you to put in the comments or the chat, yes, or me too. So that is the question. It's a real question I'm asking you. Is there anybody who's used joy as their grounding when life is lifing? Yeah, I see all these hands, and I'm knowing there's some yeses or me toos in the chat. So I'm not really here to teach you something new. I am simply here to remind you of what you probably already know. And in this season that we're in of holidays and holy days and opportunities to give and to receive, now is the perfect time to take a stand, to think about, as Marianne Williamson wrote, to think about and to recognize how good things are. How good are things in your life? I've told you about the craziness. I call it the craziness. Some people would say how bad my week was with health challenges, among other things that I haven't even mentioned. But I don't focus on that. Like, I'm focusing on it this morning because it's a tool, but all week, like it's a tool to use to actually say, yeah, all of that is true, blah, 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 blah. The truth is, right, that's true, but the truth is, joy is who I am. Joy is what inspires me. Joy is what carries me through everything in my life. Joy is always available. Joy is present. Joy is what I'm really focused on. Recognizing the good and praising it. Recognizing the good and using it. So, if you're in the room, I want you to just turn to somebody close to you and tell them 3 things that bring you joy. And if you're online, invite you to put it in the comments or in the chat. 3 things that bring you joy. Go. Really do it now. 3 things that bring you joy. 3 things that bring you joy. 3 things that remind you that joy is your truth. 1, 2, I want you to hear from the other person. 3 things that bring you joy. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If anything happens in this coming week that makes you unhappy, remember the 3 things you just shared. If anything happens between now and the end of the year, and you find yourself going in circles around it or feeling frustrated, remember the 3 things you just shared in the chat or with someone sitting close to you. Because while joy is a spiritual consciousness and the seed is there within you and no one can take it away, each one of us can put on our blinders and forget. So it's our job to remove the blinders and remember. We're in Advent. There's no surprise, and there's no surprise that joy would be one of the 4 principles or characteristics that we really focus on as we are preparing ourselves for the arrival of the Christ. And when I think about preparing for the arrival of the Christ, which is what Advent is all about, in metaphysics and in New Thought, let us remember that the Christ is within us. And so as we move closer to Christmas, what we have the opportunity to do is to rebirth our Christ consciousness. Rebirthing our Christ consciousness within and recommitting to be the example of, in this case, joy in our lives, both for our own experience and for the ways that we impact others. That is what guides us and the world into a holy night. Thank you.